little bit of instruction here. I'm wanting what they call a, this is going to be a post, but I want to mill it like a boxed beam. There's a bunch of technical stuff on beams and such, but the way you do a box beam is, at least on this mill, is find the center of your pith at this end, because all of your logs are kind of conical shaped. So like closer to the trunk, the tree will be thicker in diameter, and of course as you go up it becomes thinner in diameter. So what can happen is, you know, this box, or the center of this pith here is 9 inches, plus or minus 9 inches. Down there it'll likely be something different, because that ends, I believe, towards the, it was cut towards the base of the tree. So what you want to do is find a flat spot and measure this distance from a solid base on the mill. This is the toe board, which lets you raise a log up or down to center that pith in the beam you're going to cut. So right here we're about 9 inches. I'm going to move down to the other end and we'll see what we are there. But ultimately I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to jack up this end. So we'll move down there. Now I could have saved some time knowing that that end was shallower and taking the measurement here first, but I'm making a video and sometimes my brain just doesn't work out chronologically like that. So anyway, we were 9 down there, about 9 down here, so a little more. I think I'll scooch the other end up about a ½ inch or so. So it should come out at about 9.5. So I'll move this apparatus down there again. And there's that step I could have saved. So we were at 9 here, and I want to go ½ inch up. That's probably a ½ inch. And I'm about 9.5. So that worked out pretty well. I think you can see what the toe board does. Okay, I'll lock this into place and we'll start milling. So there's your first cut on a box beam. I left plenty. I'm trying to get a 6x6. If it's got a little bit of wane on the corners, that doesn't matter. But so at this point, I've accommodated for the taper in the log. So now I can just flip that over onto the face that I just cut, and I'll cut its opposing face, and And then I'll have to jack it up one more time to center the pith on the two uncut sides. So here we go. Okay, so I got two parallel faces. Here's where it can get a little bit janky because you got to stand it up on the stops. These are your stops. So I'm gonna roll this face up. This is against the stops. Then I need to put a square on it, carpenter square, and measure square off the bunk, and then onto the face of this bottom side. So it's critical you do that. Make sure that's square. Otherwise, you're going to make a diamond cross section of a beam instead of a square cross section of a beam. So just remember, whatever, like the first cut laid on the mill makes this second cut parallel. So if you turn this up and it's not square and you mill it and then you flip it over to that previously milled side, then you've got a parallelogram or a diamond, and you don't want to do that. So the challenge is standing this up, having it against the stops, and then getting the clamp on it while you're running a carpenter square. So, and making sure that you're all the way against the stops. You'll see. Remember, I need a dimension, 8.5. Lock this in and check it once it's locked in again, because it will creep on you. Sides good. Still good. good timber. Now that's facing square 90 degrees to first two cuts. Now I'll turn it down to the bed of the mill and work from there. How's it going, Charlie?
How are you?
Hey, you caught me working.
Yeah, well, you probably got a lot to do.
How you been?
I've been all right, and you?
Okay. A lot better getting out here instead of being isolated.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Had a nice visit with my friend Doc Charlie. So we got this final slab to take off the top here, and I'm just going to try to get the sapwood off, and then I'll start looking at what kind of wane I got. Go with that. Looking for 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. I got 7 1/2, 7 1/2. It's a big one. Take some off of this side. Okay, made a few passes on this that I didn't film because it gets kind of boring, but I'm down to my last cut to get down to 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and taking off this last top cut will get me down to that dimension, and it should take out the most of this wane towards the end. Like you may remember earlier, I think we're beyond Sesame Street now. You should have a longer attention span than 6 seconds. If not, you may want to consult the advice of a medical professional. But yeah, we're going to take this off. So here we go. I lied. I'm going to take off of this side. Measure twice. Cut once. What the hell, Bobby? Okay, here we go. So there's that. I got a 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 post out of some scantling timber. You won't get this service at a sawmill, let me tell you that. So this is just my pickiness. Now you still got a little bit of, you see sapwood there. Several places on the corners. This is as much timber as I could get out of this log with having as few, well, let's call it a defect, this wane in it. So I can make, as long as I get that shaved out, don't leave any bark in there, this timber's fine. It's oak, it's white oak, so and these are going to be posts in the ground for a structure I'm working on, and this is more than adequate. So as you've seen before, this will get coated with tar, the depth of its penetration into the ground, and wrapped in plastic, and it'll last a long time. Yeah, it's finally good to yeah, I got to deal with that still. I got some pieces and parts to make a sawbuck out of that, so I don't have to chainsaw stuff on the ground. But that's all my firewood for this winter, so that's great. The only wood I'm milling out here is hardwood, so I got a lot of good stove wood that's easy to split. Just got to chainsaw at the length. I didn't do a video on this. I posted some pictures maybe, but there's my log ramps. And in this video, I'm pretty sure you saw how I get a log on there. This was milled from an ash tree that was standing dead for who knows how long, probably a long time. Knocked it down, cutting the drive into the property. And then it laid on the ground for 3 years until I milled it. And this is what I got out of it. I got several 6x6s and a lot of 2x6s, and don't mind that. Some call that a blemish, but you know me, I meant to do that. I meant to do that, so I appear to be human. This one turned out perfect. There's Archie, my log arch. He's not bent, but my little lift stick, which is conduit, is bent. I'm going to do a couple little mods to him to make some things easier. He'll haul a 30-inch log, but it's kind of hard to, I don't even have enough leverage really to put my body weight against a 30-inch log to get that up. It takes a snatch block and some rope, but so I'm going to mount a winch, not unlike this winch on here, and then I'll be able to winch the log up and then tie it, and then I won't have to beat the hell out of my old self getting that back down and up, down and up, down and up. And there's Norman doing great work. Starting to get a lumber stack there. Fortunately, I don't have to get these white oak 6x6s onto that stack. These will get trucked back to the bunkhouse and stored out of the weather for a little bit before I put them in the ground. So I've got two 6x6s, two 12-foot 6x6s out of a white oak tree I had to take down. And I've got one more piece right here. I don't know what I'll get out of that, maybe some 4x4s. Maybe one 12-foot long 4x4. I'm kind of running out of material, but I'm trying to be as efficient as I can be, applied against as accurate as I can be. And that generally, what's the triangle? Cost, quality, time. Pick two. You'll only ever get two. So I want quality at a low cost, which it's going to take some time. Anyway, that's what I got on this video. I might get some nature shots. I don't know. But if you stayed this far along, you probably appreciate the nature shots too. Okay, last bit of sawmill footage. That Smallest section of that white oak tree that was laying there is now here, and I got a completely sound and solid. Up at the top, there's a tiny bit of wane, that light color you can see right there. But I got a good solid 10 feet of that is 4.5 by 4.5. So that'll make good deck posts too. Yeah, I like milling white oak. It smells wonderful. Not unlike I don't know any of you that've been around horses, but yeah, you smell a horse's neck when you're grooming it. It smells about like that, to me anyway. But lots of sawdust. I need to get a bucket here instead of just painting all this with sawdust. But when it rains, I'm on a bit of a slope, so it kind of washes that sawdust down. And there's a bit of a dam actually right here in the footpath, and it kind of washes down and collects right there and continues to make a nice soft level surface to walk on. So yeah, there's my two 6x6s I got, and there's the 4x4. So good day at the mill. That was fun. It's actually pretty pleasurable. It's quiet out here in nature, and I beat it with the sound of that mill, but it's not too bad. The orchard, I think, has recovered from erosion from clearing it before. I got some lumber back in there some logs I need to get out. But I got a couple apple trees that have taken off pretty well, and all those native grasses, so they're about ready to cut back, and then I'll get those logs out of there. So nice and quiet.
Sitting down in the San Antonio, waiting on an 8 o'clock train. My woman left me here last night. Things ain't been quite the same.